Good evening and welcome to the Sunday edition. I am Tariro Manameke with Susan Masona at the Sign Language Desk.
And I'm Natasha Bennett. Arthur C. Evans will join us later on in our Montrose studio.
For now, these are the leading stories.
The late national hero, Brigadier General retired Rungani and retired Central Intelligence Organization Director, Comrade Walter Basopo, will be laid to rest this Wednesday at the National Heroes Acre.
And in our This and That feature, we delve into the religious beliefs associated with the Chimanimani hot springs.
And in our sports bars, Tembani Gonye re-elected Zimbabwe Olympic Committee President for a second successive term.
Those were our headlines. We now give you the leading stories in detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa will preside over the double burial of the late national heroes, Brigadier General retired Victor Rungani and retired Central Intelligence Organization Director, Comrade Walter Basopo, at the National Heroes Acre this Wednesday. The body of Comrade Basopo will this Monday depart from Gutu for Chinoi, where it will lie in state before being taken to Harare on Tuesday, where a church service will be held. The body will lie in state at Charles Kumbo Barracks, awaiting burial on Wednesday.
Brigadier General retired Rungani's body will be taken from Charles Kumbo Barracks this Monday to his Goromonzi home, where it will lie in state. The national hero's body will be taken to his rural home in Bikita on Tuesday and will be back at Charles Kumbo Barracks at 1500 hours ahead of burial on Wednesday. And now in our next report, a funeral parade has been held for the late national hero, Brigadier General retired Victor Rungani, at Charles Kumbo Barracks in Harare today.
The funeral parade, attended by family, friends, colleagues and government officials, honored Brigadier General retired Rungani's contribution to Zimbabwe's liberation. Chief mourner at the parade, Commander Zimbabwe National Army, Lieutenant General Emmanuel Matatu, described the late national hero as a cadre who remained focused and steadfast in protecting the country's national interest.
Having served diligently and purposefully in the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, the late Brigadier General retired has left a legacy of excellence in the organization. His exceptional loyalty and patriotism towards his beloved country reminds us of how lucky we are as a nation to have had a generation of officers and commanders of his caliber. His willpower to fight for the liberation of his country and defend its ideals after independence remain unmatched. The late Brigadier General was a distinguished military officer whose work we shall forever cherish. He remained focused and steadfast in the face of neo-colonial machinations before and after the attainment of independence.
Colleagues and the family of the late national hero described him as a patriot and a family man.
Varungani munhu watakashanda naye, ini ndichibva ku apprentice yangu ndichita chimakanika. Ndichiwana vari ku electrical and mechanical engineering department ku army headquarters. Ndichiita apprentice yangu yandakaitira ku Harare base workshop was our director by that time. Ndakadzidza quite a number of things, so kuti munhu uya toti kana tiri kuchimakanika angane hands on.
Vakanga vari munhu anofarira basa rake. Chinhu chikuru isu chaitai vaziva kuseri kukuva musoja, because vanakanda vaivaziva vari musoja very strict, asi isu sevana taka explain that the soft side yavo.
I'm very glad kuti tachengeta mwana wamai vangu zvakanaka uye kuti hurumende yamupa ruremekedzo runokodzera.
Born on the 29th of June in 1949 in Bikita, Comrade Rungani joined the liberation struggle in Mozambique in 1975 and received military training at Mapinduzi military camp before being deployed as head of Zanla workshops. In 1977, he became a member of the Zanla General Staff and appointed Provincial Director of Transport Manika. After independence, Comrade Rungani went to the Zimbabwe School of Infantry in May 1980 for integration of former Zanla and Zipra, and became the first Zanla commanding officer in the Zimbabwe National Army at the 43 Infantry Battalion in Gutu in 4 Brigade area in Masvingo. He also served as director of the Zimbabwe National Army's Engineering Military Equipment Directorate. He leaves behind 36 children and 34 grandchildren. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, the body of the late national hero, retired Central Intelligence Organization Director, Comrade Walter Basopo, who passed away in South Africa on Tuesday, has been airlifted from Harare to his rural home in Gutu this Sunday.
The national hero's body was flown from Charles Gumbo Barracks in Harare this Sunday en route to Gutu. From there, it will be taken to his home in Chinoi before returning to Harare for burial at the National Heroes Acre.
Comrade Basopo vari kutakurwa mutombo rutakurwa kuenda kwaGutu kuZinatsa Primary School kumasettlement ndiko kwavari kunorara mumba nhasi vachionekana nenhama neshamwari dzekumusha. Mangwana masikati bodi ichatakurwa kubva kwaGutu ienda kuChinoi. Inorara zvakare kumba kwavo kwavakanga vachigara vachionekana nevahama neshamwari dzavaishanda nadzo vanga vachishanda navo kuChinoi kunova kune famu yavo. Ichazotakurwa musi wechipiri masikati yaakudzoka kuno kuti izouya yochimirira kuti tizoitakura taakuenda kuNational Heroes Acre musi wechitatu mangwanani.
Comrade Basopo's contributions during and after the liberation struggle earned him a national hero status.
Tikukoshesa basa rakabatwa nababa kusunungura nyika nekuti tivani kusunungurwa tutandara navo nhasi vanhu vese vachifara vakanga vari vanhu vakaita masacrifices. Vamwe vakasara asiwo vakauya vakafamba vachishandira nyika kusvika nhasi vapiwa chiremekedzo chenyika chikuru kuti chinotariswa kuti vazonge vakapiwa napresident nemusi weFriday last week.
Comrade Basopo joined the liberation struggle in 1976 under Zandla and underwent military training in Mozambique. After independence, he served as an intelligence officer and rose through the ranks to become a director. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, the body of the late national hero, Comrade Walter Basopo, is now in Gutu, where his kinsmen described him as a patriotic leader and unifier. And we'll give you more details as the bulletin progresses.
Vice President retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga says Zimbabwe has set sights on attracting more Iranian investment, driven by favorable policies for the country as a safe and viable business destination.
Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga this Sunday addressed the third Iran-Africa Economic Conference, where he highlighted government's commitment towards creating a conducive climate for investors.
Let me assure you that several ease of doing business reforms have been implemented to make Zimbabwe a top-tier competitive investment destination. To this end, Zimbabwe has established a one-stop investment service center under the Zimbabwe Investment and Development Agency. This agency ensures that your investment aspirations are fulfilled within 24 hours effortlessly.
In an interview after a closed-door meeting with the President of Iran, His Excellency Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian, Vice President Chiwenga hailed the Middle East economic powerhouse on a cooperation with Zimbabwe.
We are open to our brothers here in the Islamic Republic of Iran, which we discussed with His Excellency the President, that they should be interested in the areas of agriculture, health, pharmaceuticals, mining and tourism.
Iran has also revealed a commitment to widen ties with African countries.
We're all the same people, ummatan wahida. There is no superiority. Otherwise, it is in the area of being more human and rendering more services to others. In Iran, we are ready to share with you all our achievements, all the breakthroughs in relation to the transfer of knowledge and our capabilities to you and to your people, and to become your partners
Zimbabwe's participation at the third Iran-Africa Economic Conference is therefore expected to consolidate existing ties with the Middle East economic powerhouse in key productive sectors. Stanley James, ZBC News, Tehran.
And we now give you the details, where the body of the late national hero, Comrade Walter Basopo, is now in Gutu.
The body of the late national hero, Comrade Walter Basopo, arrived in Chuara area of Gutu in the afternoon and was received by Masvingo Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Ezra Chadzamira, the provincial and district leadership, his relatives, friends and villagers. Friends and relatives had a lot to say about Comrade Basopo's exemplary work ethic.
Taraskirwa. Apana chatanga tichishaiwa. Apana panga asingasviki. Apana wanga asingashuvi kunyange akauya kunokumusha. Taiungana pano semhuri.
Tinogona kutotendekawo vamwe vakasumudzwawo naye kubva kuchikoro kusvika palevel yaatovari iko zvino. Vamwe vaisiwa nevabereki vavo vari vana vadoko. Achivatora achivaendesa kuchikoro achivapedzera nyangotora nyangwe mabirth certificate chaiwo chaiwo.
The provincial leadership paid tribute to Comrade Basopo for being a patriotic leader, thanking the government for according him a national hero status.
Munguva yekuti tawana rusununguko 1980 havana kuzorora nekuti tawana rusununguko vakauya vakapinda muorganization yeCIO vakakwira nemarenge akasiyana siyana. Vari mushandi wanga akazvipira kuona nyika yedu ichichengetedzewa kuti ive nerunyararo, ive nekubatana, ive nebudiriro.
Semasvingo province ZANU-PF tarasikirwa zvakanyanya negamba redu Comrade Basopo, munhu wakarwira nyika ino akaenda kuhondo kundosunukura nyika ino, asi apedza zvekurwa nyika. Comrade Basopo vakashandira hurumende ino zvakanyanya.
Basopo ndo umwe wavatungamiriri vanobva munzvimbo ino vaishanda nesu pamadambudziko ataisangana nawo pakuvaka kwataita development yomuno. Vaiva nechido chokuziva kuti chatigozhera chii, patingapinda napo ndepapi kuti tibudise zvinoita kuti nzvimbo yedu ibudirire.
A church service was held in his honor and his body will lie in state in Gutu before being ferried to Chinoi this Monday. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Gutu.
The week-long 65th edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair delivered on its promise, with exhibitors walking away with major spin-offs and fresh opportunities.
This year's ZITF boosted exhibitor visibility, sparked partnerships and offered insights into emerging market trends, living up to its reputation as a springboard for economic growth. Corporate entities leveraged on the platform to cement new avenues, while institutions of higher learning were among the stars of the show, with innovations that caught the attention of top industry players.
I believe this has been a successful trade fair for this year. The numbers are quite impressive. We've had so many visitors to the stand, and they're taking interest in the products, especially in the innovations. We've taken Masao fruit as a baseline of our innovative products that we are coming up with. So it has been a good year.
It's a great opportunity for networking and connecting. We have signed over 10 partnerships with potential stakeholders in various aspects of the projects that we have. We have also connected with a lot of institutions that want research collaboration, and we have also connected with potential students, and some of them that have also indicated that they are coming to HIT.
We have been exhibiting since day one. From the 21st, we had a number of people coming to our stand asking about what we are exhibiting, and they were much impressed about what we have, all the way from March Central, all the way from Shamba.
We have interacted, we have interfaced, we have shared many things. They have learned from us, we have also learned from them in terms of innovation.
Established players also seized the opportunity to chart new territory.
I've met new clients. It's been beneficial also
There's people that I met who are not from Zim who want to do collaborations. I've also been invited to Durban Fashion Fair.
This year has been very good. We're here since Sunday set up, and from day one people have been coming inquiring about our products.
Beyond the deals and displays, the ZITF remains a celebration of Zimbabwean resilience, creativity and entrepreneurship, driving employment creation, business development and global partnerships. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Zimbabwe and China are poised for a significant boost in their long-standing cooperation this year, with a series of ambitious projects set to be launched across various sectors. And we get the details in the next report.
This development comes on the heels of the 10 Partnership Actions for Modernization, a comprehensive framework announced in Beijing during last year's forum on China-Africa cooperation. These initiatives underscore the deepening strategic partnership between the two nations and China's commitment to Zimbabwe's socio-economic advancement. Chinese ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Zhou Ding, emphasized the commitment of the Chinese government to support Zimbabwe's socio-economic advancement.
This year, as our nations continue to work hand in hand to implement the important consensus reached by our two top leaders, we will jointly deliver tangible benefits to the Zimbabwe's people. Notably, projects such as the High Performance Computer Center will be officially handed over to Zimbabwe side. The Belt and Road Joint Laboratory, set to facilitate scientific cooperation, will be commissioned. New irrigation schemes designed to boost crop yields will break ground. And solar-powered e-facilities for rural communities will be launched to provide access to educational resources and health services to rural communities.
The recently concluded Zimbabwe International Trade Fair in Mbuya provided a glimpse into the innovative technologies and solutions that Chinese companies are bringing to Zimbabwe.
As a Chinese company, we are bringing the latest technology to Zimbabwe. As a country, transition to green energy in the face of climate change.
We have here, and many engineers live here, and we already built the branch company here. We can forward all technical services to the local, to the foreign, such as the Chinese investors come here and everywhere.
The socio-economic impact of the diverse exhibitions at the Chinese pavilion at ZITF was also highlighted.
We find it suit for us to have these practical skills case projects being showcased. There is more for human participation in terms of coming up with initiatives that are so sustainable.
The launch of these China-backed projects is expected to inject significant momentum into the nation's development agenda towards the attainment of Vision 2030. Yolanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The country's learning institutions are taking the lead in preferring practical solutions, with Zhishavani-based Mary Maple International School having showcased 3 innovations at the just-ended Zimbabwe International Trade Fair in Bulawayo.
In line with the heritage-based curriculum which calls for local solutions to local problems, Zhishavani-based learning institution Erimapo International School has applied to the Ministry of Transport to set up a pedestrian light at the institution's busy crossing point. The pedestrian light was among innovations exhibited at the just-ended ZITF. 2 other projects, which include an automated door which uses an RFID card and a robotic car which uses motor programming, were also showcased in Bulawayo. After raising Zimbabwe's flag high in Egypt at the National Annual Science, Sports and Arts Festival, NASAF International Competition, the students are determined to come up with practical solutions to local problems.
And we're here at ZITF to showcase our project of the wireless car kit. The wireless car kit is controlled by the Bluetooth ESP32 modulator. It is the one that gives us access to connect Bluetooth. And also the driver is the one that shares power to all components for the car to be able to work.
We're here at ZITF 2025. We're here to showcase different projects which assist in our environment in different aspects. So we have 3 different projects which we have. We have the automatic door, which is used for security circumstances. For example, at banks, we need a lot of security. So we have managed to produce one automatic door which uses RFID tape cards to open or access the door. And the next one we have is pedestrian traffic light with the assistance of the ultrasonic sensor. The ultrasonic sensor works in sensing the cars or any vehicles approaching so that the traffic light communicates with the pedestrians nearby.
Okay, the designs I intend to do as laptop stands that can be used on your bed while relaxing. This can help you to just reduce fatigue of just standing or sitting down while using your laptop.
Robotics teacher Tipe Iwove said the innovations are the best foot forward.
Robotics in schools is there to inspire teaching, is there to inspire creativity and innovation among students. So in all that we are doing, we are inspiring our learners to be creative.
Skills development remains a cornerstone for the Second Republic, with local innovations being identified as a panacea to national challenges. Mtogozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The Zimbabwe National Army is putting everything in place to protect the sovereignty of the country and at the same time promoting an environment that is conducive for peace and development.
Besides providing security and protecting the sovereignty of Zimbabwe, the security forces continue to provide humanitarian assistance across the country, including building schools, clinics and bridges. Speaking on the sidelines of the 65th Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, ZITF, the ZNA highlighted their key mandate.
As the Zimbabwe National Army, we stand guided with the constitutional mandate as prescribed in the Constitution on Section 212. This constitutional mandate enables the organization to be on a platform of providing a conducive environment for an integrated economic landscape and industrialization in pursuit of Vision 2030. Once we have a conducive environment as an organization, we remain multifaceted with a variety of roles, which include military aid to civil power, military aid to civil ministries, military aid to civil authorities.
Apart from their social responsibility, the ZNA has other key responsibilities.
As Zimbabwe Defense Forces, we are doing the humanitarian assistance projects. Here we are showcasing the demining operations and the community assistance projects. The Zimbabwe National Army is doing the demining operations whereby clearing all mined areas in the released land for economic growth and to ensure safety of our livestock, locals and wildlife. As Zimbabwe National Army, we are also assisting the disadvantaged communities by constructing and the rehabilitation of infrastructure across the country.
Mota ni urutu tibe sia munkondo kuibera urika vazi mota kana kuti mobile workshop. Takandikamba kuti mobile workshop mota tibere kuti abana ngati munkondo zimwe mota zikazino zikafwa. Mota njibereka kukonza kuti bantu benda a mota mbakwanza kugadzika mota banga bali mukati. Mota yenda abantu bali 8. Yenda muntu driver, yenda muntu utegwa gana, yenda mechanic auto mechanic, yenda muntu utegwa hydraulic crane operator, yenda iyo muntu utegwa muntu ugadzira mota generator operator. Then mota niyenda obu mota irakwanza kuchijana kamusinzo uri muri 120 km/h.
Zimbabwe has remained a destination of choice for foreign investors owing to its peaceful environment.
We now cross over to our Montreux studio where Arthur C. Evans is on standby with more news from that end. Good evening, Arthur. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Natasha. Today is an important day in the history of Zimbabwe as it marks the 127th anniversary following the death of Mbuya Nehanda on the 27th of April 1898 by hanging. Now, two prominent Zimbabweans, a Catholic priest, Father Fidelis Mukonori, and a pioneer freedom fighter, Colonel Joseph Khumalo, speak on the role of the spirit of Mbuya Nehanda. Chief Correspondent Ruben Barwe has more.
On this date, the 27th of April, 1890, that is 127 years ago, Mbuya Nehanda Nyakasikana was hanged at 10 o'clock by the colonial administration, together with 4 others. You are talking of the late Sekuru Kagwe, the late Gutsa, Wata, and Zindoga. All were hanged by the colonial administration on allegations of mvukela, or what the colonialists called rebellion against the colonial administration, or foreign rule. Also, another accusation was killing Mr. H. Pollard, who was a commissioner of the colonial administration. They were sentenced to death in March by Justice Votamer. Immediately, a month later, the 5 were hanged. And before the hanging, the Catholic father, Richards, tried to convert them to Christianity. And Mbuya Nehanda, right to the end, refused and said, Mafupa angwa achamuka.
It's necessary for the young people of Zimbabwe to know that its leadership was not only by men alone. Leadership included women, including people like Mbuya Nehanda. She was a leader in her own right. So one would say, Queen Victoria, how dare you kill the Queen of Zimbabwe? It's necessary for the children of Zimbabwe to know we were resisting. And the British, it was a shock to imagine 1897 to have that kind of resistance.
Mweya wakanga inawo unove ndo wakataura kutiko mapfupa angu achamuka. Wanga achireva kuti iyesu vana venyika iyo inoi tichamuka tigoona uchokwadi hunofana kunge huripo mukati menyika wekuti tadzvanyirirwa nevarungu. Mbuya Nehanda achivurawa kwakusiri kuda kwake, tinofana kureuka. Irori zuva irori izuva guru kuvana vemunyika inoi rinokudarika zvinhu zvese. Vana venyika inoi taide tichitoyeuka kutiko ndipo pakatangira nyaya dzemuchembere dzemhepo, kuti tizive mhepo yemuchembere kuti yakabva kupi.
Today is a sad day, but also realizing the prophetic message which Mbuya gave. Today Zimbabweans are a proud people walking independent. There the statue was constructed by the Second Republic, all in honor of Mbuya Nehanda Nyakasikana or Mbuya Charwe of the Water Clan. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Harare.
Pan-Africanist and women's rights activist Emma Nyerere, who attended the Arise Women of Africa conference held in the capital, has commended Zimbabwe's government's determination and commitment to empowering women in all sectors, marking a significant step towards building a progressive Africa.
Nyerere, who was guest of honor at a women's conference held in Harare on Saturday, appreciated the strides made by the government of Zimbabwe in empowering and uplifting the livelihoods of women, saying other African countries can take lessons from Zimbabwe's progressive, inclusive policies that have created space for women in all sectors.
Here in Zimbabwe, they are doing it in a level that you can't compare to other women in other countries. They do openly. They come forward. They have no fear. They're very brave. It's encouraging and it's an inspiration for other women in the country, in other nations in the continent.
Participants at the conference said women should continue to utilize the opportunities being presented to them.
I feel our government supports us. When we come together and unite, there's so much we can do to help other women.
We have initiatives that have been initiated, for example, the 30% council's quota, women's quota. We're very thankful for that.
Chairperson of the Arise Women of Africa Zimbabwe, Ms. Nyengeterai Mahofa, is confident that creating platforms for women to meet and exchange ideas and experiences is key in propelling the empowerment agenda.
The main concept of Arise Women of Africa, or idea, is to empower a girl child, to make sure that all the less privileged women across the board, across Africa or Zimbabwe, they are helped and they have got a better life.
Women's empowerment is one of the Second Republic's top priorities, with various initiatives having been undertaken to ensure women take up space in every sector. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Up next, we go into our I'm an African segment, and today we feature and focus on Dikembe Mutombo, a man who was born in Kinshasa in DRC and went on to conquer the world, not just as a great basketball player, but also as a cultural ambassador.
In the pantheon of basketball greats, few names resonate as deeply as that of Dikembe Mutombo. Hailing from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Mutombo stands not only as one of the most formidable defenders in the NBA history, but also a cultural ambassador and a humanitarian whose influence extends beyond the hardwood. Born in 1966, Mutombo's journey to basketball stardom was paved by an insatiable curiosity and an unyielding spirit. Initially aspiring to become a doctor, he moved to the United States to pursue his education at Georgetown University, where his towering presence, standing at 2.2 meters, quickly drew attention on the basketball court. Under the mentorship of coach George Thompson, Mutombo honed his skills, ultimately leading him to be selected by the Denver Nuggets as the 4th overall pick in 1991 NBA draft. Mutombo's impact on the game cannot be underestimated. Known for his signature finger wag that signaled a shot blocked, he became synonymous with defensive prowess. Over his 18-year career, Mutombo was an NBA All-Star 4 times and won the Defensive Player of the Year 4 times, a testament that his commitment to excellence in defense. His relentless blocking ability and rebounding made him an imposing figure, not just on the court but in the minds of opponents. However, what set Mutombo apart was not just his physical gifts, it was his approach to the game. He played with a passion that inspired teammates and fans alike, blending tenacity with infectious joy that transcended cultural barriers. For many fans in Africa and around the world, he became a symbol of hope and the ability of achieving greatness through hard work and determination. Beyond basketball, Mutombo's philanthropic efforts have been pivotal in shaping his legacy. With a heart as big as his stature, he has extended his influence into health, education, and humanitarian work. In 1997, he founded the Dikembe Mutombo Foundation, which focuses on improving the livelihoods of children in his native Congo through healthcare initiatives and education opportunities. His work exemplifies how athletes can leverage their platform to make a difference. In 2010, following a catastrophic earthquake that struck Haiti, Mutombo was among the first to respond, directing aid and financial support for recovery efforts. He has frequently advocated for healthcare and education in underserved communities, earning respect not only as an athlete but as a leader and a change maker. He has become a role model for countless young athletes, particularly in Africa, demonstrating that dreams can be transcended beyond borders. His openness about his journey, coupled with his active presence in global initiatives, has inspired future generations to pursue sports, education, and civic engagement. His story is not that of a single athlete, but of an African legend whose life and work inspired and uplifted communities around the world. Tales of widely celebrated athletes often focus solely on the statistics, championships, and accolades. However, Dikembe Mutombo's legacy is illuminated by his unwavering commitment to humanitarian efforts and his profound influence on the game of basketball. In an age where true legends are few and far between, Mutombo stands tall, a beacon of hope and enduring symbol of how one individual can change the course of many lives. Mutombo, a true African legend. Lawrence Tusida, ZBC News.
We're going to take a break, but we'll bounce right back immediately afterwards with more news from our Pockets Hill studios. Do stay with us.
Hi guys, this is Opi Girl from South Africa. I am in Zimbabwe. I am having the time of my life. The line about Zimbabwe is life. The drinks, the culture, the people. Trust me, you have to come and
Shumba Plus Dust, the extra strong brain protector. More power for less money.
I love my boys. In the holidays, they sometimes spend their whole day playing soccer. They are my angels. I don't know why people in this area are always telling lies about them. But no matter what happens, I will always be there for them. That's what mums are for. New Aura Beauty Soap. For skin that glows. From the House of Zimgold.
Now this is banking redefined. Deposits done. Withdrawals easy. All in one smooth move. Sleek, chic, always on. Your new Stanbic Bank ATM is here. Withdraw USD cash anytime, any day using any Visa or MasterCard at our new Zimre Park ATM located at Puma Service Station, Zimre Park Turnoff. You can also deposit USD cash into any Stanbic Bank account. No more queues or inconvenient opening hours. Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. The Hot Springs Resort in Chimanimani is not only a famous place for local people, but also for the international community due to its uniqueness. In our This and That feature, we delve into the religious beliefs associated with the resort destination, where some believe the hot springs have medicinal and healing powers. Let's get more on that report.
The Hot Springs Resort in Chimanimani is not only popular for producing hot water that reaches up to 100 degrees Celsius, but the religious beliefs associated with the place have generated interest and debates over the purported healing powers of the spring water. The custodians of the place testified that from time immemorial, the water levels and temperatures are not affected by drought, floods, and even changes in seasons, with the traditionalists and Christians visiting the hot springs and competing for space to conduct rituals and prayers.
Mvura iyi inobuda kwegore rese from January to December maintain 100 degrees Celsius, which is the boiling point. Comes winter season, comes summer season, the temperature won't lapse.
With the bottom of the pool littered with local and foreign coins thrown by visitors who believe that wishes made at the place will come to pass, some locals have testimonies of the supernatural and healing powers associated with the hot springs.
Ndakameka wish ndichikanda coin. Ndakawisha chincha ndaida muupenyu hwangu kuti ndiite business. For sure ndakatotanga kurana business, ndine shop yangu. Ndane 2 years.
Ndaingozvara vasikana chete 3. Kabva ndaya ndikawisha ndikati Mwari ndokumbirawo kuti mundipe mwana wamukomana. Mwana wamukomana ndinaye izvozvi wata form 3. Mumvura iri kuside kwedu uku umo mukaita deep in your legs in mukatsva mukataura zvese zvamuri kuda zvinoita come true.
Christians, traditionalists, and researchers give different explanations about the place, but there seem to be consensus on the healing powers associated with the hot springs.
Ane umwe murungu wakauya pa pool up, pa swimming pool up. Aine elephant yasisi. Akarara ngedumbu for 2 weeks echizorwe dhaka iro riri mvura inopisa iro riri. After 2 weeks zvese zvanga zviri zvimbirika mumwiri mwake mwakabva maderera. Murungu iye wakabva echifara kuti hot springs yandiita sei yandibatsira.
Nyaya yemapools inyaya kuti shamisa vaso mubhaibheri irimo. Tikaenda kunyaya 2 Kings chapter 5 pane murume anonzi Namani mukuru wehondo. Rwara nemaperembudzi ndibva wana information kuti wakune murume anonzi Elisha kunzvimbo yeIsrael. Saka asvika iko akashamiswa akanzi no toti ungonyura 7 times mvura. Nyaya yemapools anokosha, marivers anokosha agara iripo, even river Jordan vanhu vaitopinda imomo vachitobhabhatidzwa kuti vangoporeswa. saka zviriko zvagara zviriko in the word of God with the pool of bedside.
Mapool iwaya ane ma healing features arimo nokuti mvura izvainoita ichibva from the 8th class ine minerals anosvika 14 saka mamineral iwaya akati wande acho ane simba rokuporesa zvakasiyana siyana.
Since time immemorial, people have made use of hot springs for bathing, relaxation or medical therapy. As the debate on the healing powers of the hot springs in Chimanimani continues, one may have to visit the resort to personally ascertain if the notion is true or just a myth. Kenya's Chifusion, ZBC News, Chimanimani.
With that story, I guess it's time to head to Chimanimani. Now, in our science and technology feature, a man from Marondera has come up with an electric fire starter to replace the traditional matchstick. And we get more details from Gerald Sasa.
The electric fire starter uses a simple 3-volt lithium battery and a casing, a micro push-down switch, a base where arms are held, and a nichrome wire. Mr. Emmanuel Matiza, who came up with the innovation, explains how the fire starter works.
It uses nichrome wire, which is an element that can be used for stoves, irons, and so on. So when when current passes through that semiconductor, it creates heat, and when it grows, you can light anything on that. And this is a 3-volt element, so that it can be used by a cell phone battery. It's rechargeable because it has got a charger and a battery and a regulator, so that it reduces from 3 volts to from 3.7 volts to 3 volts. For commercial purposes, we need raw material, and the main challenge that is needed is the casing. The casing here, because the first thing is the mold.
The electric fire starter is also environmentally friendly as it does not use any trees, unlike the traditional matchsticks. Matiza's invention resonates with the government's Education 5.0 model, which seeks to promote science and innovation. Gerald Sasa, ZBC News, Marondera.
We now take a break and return with Sports Buzz. Stay with us.
Tel1 Broadband brings you the 100 Days to Win Big promotion. Buy your Tel1 Broadband voucher worth $30 or more at any Pick n Pay store nationwide and unlock the chance to win 50 gigabytes of data every day. Yes, you heard right. Each and every day. For the next 100 days, each TM Pick n Pay branch countrywide will select a winner, and it could be you. Buy your Tel1 Broadband bundle today at your nearest Pick n Pay and make every day a happy one. Hashtag 100 Happy Days to Win Big. The Tel1 100 Days to Win Big promotion runs from 10 March to the 30th of June 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Tel1, the future is better together.
Welcome back to sport. Zimbabwe Olympic Committee President Tabani has been re-elected to lead the country's Olympic body for a second successive term after edging Ringisai Mapondera 15-12 in a tightly contested election at a local hotel held this Sunday.
After a successful election this Sunday, the new ZOC board has shifted attention to turning manifestos into reality so as to take the country's sports industry to greater heights. With a shared vision of athlete development and support, the board has promised to put strategic frameworks in place to harness support for sport from the social and corporate sectors. Incumbent President Tabani, who has been leading the Olympic body for the past 4 years, will continue implementing his vision after garnering the majority of the votes. Speaking upon re-election, Gonye outlined the importance of collaboration with the losing candidates in a bid to foster the ultimate environment for sports growth in the country.
Ama-association na-compete kuma-world championships yibe sufanele sifocus ngabo ngoba bayabe sebeku level yokuthi bakwanise ukuthi bayesiwinela ama-medal. So ama-Olympics benchmark ngokuthi abantu asebefike kuma-world championships sebefanele ukuthi balathi i-next stage ukuthi bayifika ku-next stage.
Meanwhile, former ZBC television productions head Merit Munzwembiri was voted the second vice president of ZOC, serving alongside Frederick Ndlovu, who was re-elected first vice president.
Going into this election, ndangandi chiri chivavariro changu chekuti ndoda kunotaura ndiri at an executive level nyaya dzemadzimai. Inyaya dziri pamoyo wangu dzema-female athletes edu kuti ndo dzimwe dzatichange tichitarisa tichishandawo zvikuru sei nema-athletes ese kuedza kuvandudza the support structure yavo.
Umsebenzi sokumele uqhubeke wenziwe and yimi umsebenzi omkhulu okhona ukuthi njengomuntu ade vele ephakathi ekubuseni lapha so uqhakathekile ukuthi laba abanye ababuyileyo ngibancedise ukuthi bazwisise umsebenzi okhona.
Elected committee members include Tawanda Sitole, former ZIFA executive, Xolisani Gosela, Lizzie Mpure, Charmaine Chamboko, Abel Chimukoko, Edison Chiroza, and Abigail Mnikwa, whilst Mxolisi Ndlovu was uncontested to occupy the treasurer post. The new board assumes office immediately after the previous board was dissolved prior to the elections. Reynaud Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
Fading Castle Lager Premier Soccer League giants Dynamos continue to struggle for form after sharing the spoils in a goalless draw with equally struggling Kwekwe United at Rufaro Stadium this Sunday.
Another draw was recorded this Sunday in the Premier Soccer League as Harare Giants Dynamos failed to register a victory for the fourth consecutive match despite playing at their favourite hunting ground, Rufaro Stadium. The record PSL holders, who have only a single victory this campaign, failed to bury the numerous chances that came their way, with coach Lloyd Chigowe seemingly running out of tactics.
We were on top of them for nearly 90% of the game. Yes, here and there they got their chances through breaks, but I thought we were the better side all throughout. Unfortunately, again, we failed to convert.
As he has been the tail in the past 7 games, Chigowe's charges failed to find answers in the final third, making questionable decisions when in possession. Dynamos had an unconvincing performance, which left the few loyal fans in attendance disappointed as the majority decided to boycott the match as if they were aware of the outcome. In the end, Dynamos and Kwekwe United failed to score against each other as Dynamos moved to 8 points while their opponents moved to 7 points. With Dynamos looking frustrated with just a point, Kwekwe United on the other end yet a better day, and it appeared to be content with a point as they managed to keep a clean sheet against the traditional giants.
I am more than happy. The boys said, let's go play. And play they did. And I think you just can't ask for more.
At the Kwekwe-based club, you have found the going tough in the league so far, conceding the most goals in the league, including 2 hat-tricks recorded in the league thus far. Reynaud Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
The deaf football community has called for more support towards supporting initiatives for people with disabilities, whose welfare is often overlooked by sporting bodies.
With a dream of making it to the World Deaf Football Championships, deaf footballers in Zimbabwe continue to witness their dreams being dashed by lack of support, which hinders them from stepping onto the big stage. And with an abundant pool of talent to tap from, financial constraints have been a major setback for the community, who consistently miss out on crucial tournaments due to lack of sponsorship. Last weekend, however, was a dream come true for the deaf footballing community, who got to witness the first of its kind deaf football tournament in the country after a successful bid to host the Sadiq Deaf Football Tournament at Zeisa Training Center. While it was a happy occasion, the deaf community feels that there is need to invest more in the sport for people with disabilities to promote inclusivity in line with the Vision 2030.
This is the first. This has never happened, and we are so proud about this. We had the game and it went well, and it's for the deaf, and other countries didn't come. It is very important for our future to have more tournaments for the deaf. This is a very good start. We are seeing the boys starting to improve and to start doing their tournaments. Would like also to have girls, to have netballs, even rugby. We also have rugby, netball, but we are hoping the government that they will help us so that the deaf will have their Olympics that will go far.
Meanwhile, only Zimbabwe, Democratic Republic of Congo and South Africa managed to send representatives to the tournament as other teams from the SADC region failed to raise money to fund their trip to Zimbabwe. Dave Katanga of the Democratic Republic of Congo were crowned the champions after beating deaf Ghana Zimbabwe by 2-0 in the final. Reynold Ngwarati, ZBC News.
And that story puts a cap on our sports news this Sunday. We take a break, but when we come back, we'll be letting you know what's happening in sports, in showbiz.
Shumba Plus Dust, the extra strong grain protector. More power for less money.
ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering to you the national budget, live parliamentary debates, independence, Heroes Day and Defense Forces events. We bring you insightful documentaries, special programs, and thought-provoking debates. ZBC Current Affairs. We are definitely Zimbabwean, telling an accurate, balanced, and unfettered Zimbabwean story.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. It's now time for us to give you the showbiz. Bulawayo was a one-stop shop for entertainment this weekend as the country's biggest trade showcase was wrapped up with a lineup of vibrant entertainment events held at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair.
The city of Bulawayo came to life as musical shows held at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, especially the Bulawayo Shutdown Gig, lived to its billing. Local and South African artists who headlined the show met fans' expectations. On the local front, the likes of Killer Teams, O7, Bazooka and Oriano set the stage alight as they dropped hit after hit during their performances. International acts such as South African music star Emo also left the crowd begging for more. With one of its mandates being to provide entertainment, the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation ZBC's entertainment stage was vibrant, also giving fans an opportunity to attach a face to the voice behind the microphone.
Alongside
Fans and radio personalities showcased their dancing skills. Lisa Masuku Gorira, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The weather report and forecast up next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. Hope I find you well. With cloudy conditions over the southern parts of the country as of this morning, with a bit of drizzle in places, but by afternoon it was mild over the south and warmer over the north, over areas such as Matabeleland, North, Mashonaland provinces, including our own metropolitan. It was clearing over the southern parts as of this evening, as seen here in our satellite image, where we had more of cloudy conditions over the north, where we're still expecting a bit of isolated showers, especially over the Zambezi-Valley, where you see that green color. Later on in the week, we're expecting moisture to drift in from the west and cover again the western parts of the country, covering Matabeleland North, including Bulawayo Metropolitan and Matabeleland South. But for this evening, we're expecting those clear skies to cause a bit of cooling over the south, with mild conditions over the north. It should get warmer over the southern parts as we get into the later parts of this week. Thus, for Bulawayo, we're expecting a maximum of about 25, with morning temperature in the 15s there, about maximum of 26 over Mutombo, with also a morning temperature about 15 degrees Celsius. And for Gwanda, we're expecting 15 and 26, much warmer than it was today over Gwanda area. And for Masvingo, we're expecting a bit of clearer skies with a maximum of 25. Morning temperature in the 15s for much of this week, so please keep warm if you happen to be in Masvingo. Same for Gweru, we're expecting a minimum of 12 on Tuesday and 13 for Kwekwe projected there on Tuesday. So please keep warm, especially in the morning hours. 15 is the lowest for Kadoma there, with a maximum of 28 on Tuesday, while Zara is projected to have a minimum of 13 tomorrow, going as high as 24 by afternoon. 26 and 15 for Chinoi, was 24 and 17 excess for Lupane for much of tomorrow. And for Victoria Falls, we're expecting minimums in the 18s thereabout for much of this week. For Caribou, expecting most of the minimums in the 20s, so it should be rather mild over Caribou. Bindura projecting 15 thereabout, still in the mild category, but it's getting cooler. Of Marondero, expecting a bit of 11s thereabout and 12s for the morning temperatures. 9s and 10s for Nyanga, so please keep warm if you happen to be visiting me. That's all for the weather for today. It's back to the news desk.
Many thanks to the Met Department for giving us the weather report and forecast. It is now time for us to leave you with our video of the week, coming from the late Simon Chimbetu. It is simply titled Ndarangarira Gamba.
Good night.
Good night.
Zvinotopesana ndakashenzera ndokushenzera tatanura izvikasha zvangu zvose muende mberi nehondo fambai makashinga Comrade muzvikisa